What is up, YouTube? So the video today we're going to talk about is we've recently been doing videos about the dangers of addiction, whether it be mostly with retro collecting, but it can be done with toys, comics, physical media, anything like that that requires collecting in general. More than likely, at some point, you're either going to get addicted to doing it, or you are going to have some self-control on it. Now, I've done videos in the past talking about how your collection itself could just be influenced by YouTubers, how you're just constantly buying just to go for that dopamine spike and everything like that, and why that is very dangerous to even keep doing with. And we've also talked about the dangers that some people have faced, whether it been using credit cards when they shouldn't have, not paying bills and going into debt, just buying stuff that they really didn't need. They just felt the need to do that. And the video I really want to focus on today is what people are calling, and I have been hearing it a lot more lately, is called FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. So what exactly is that with retro collecting everything? That's what we're going to talk about. So a lot of times you will be looking on YouTube, you'll be looking on Macari, you'll be looking on Facebook, and then you will see something pop up, and yeah, you will let's say, I don't know, a lot of 20 Nintendo games pops up, but you have 10 of them, but you need the other 10, and you're collecting and stuff right now. But let's just say you just got paid, you paid your bills, and you don't really have much fun money, but you really want these games. So instead of sitting there and actually contemplating it and thinking more about it and stuff, you just on a limb go and buy it because you're afraid you're gonna miss this deal. And we'll say it's a decent deal, not like an insanely like $2 a piece deal, but we'll say a decent deal. So a lot of times when it comes with addiction and stuff like that, like me personally, when I was really going after games, I was scouring Mercari, I was scouring eBay, I was looking at everything like every hour. I would just put video games in, and then I would just put newest listed, refresh, look, okay, nothing good, wait a little bit, refresh, and just keep doing that. Because I had this constant fear that, Flintstones was going to pop up on NES, or there was going to be Zelda for $5 on the Super Nintendo, something like that. So I was just sitting there, basically, well, I mean, granted I was at work and stuff, but even when I was at home on my phone, distracted completely by this, because I was afraid that for some reason, like I said, Flintstones Dinosaur Peak or something was just going to pop up. It was going to be $5, and I was going to get a great deal on it, and I was just afraid, fearing, like I said, missing an amazing deal like this. And, it was, it's the dangers of that people sometimes will stumble onto, and they will buy unnecessary crap that they don't need, and then they will kind of maybe just justify it by saying, well, it's for the collection. But in all actuality, with any kind of purchase like this, unless it's something that you've really been sought after, something you've been looking for forever, I think one of the major big deals that I finally saw and jumped on was I'd been looking for a boxed NES, and a local person had been selling one for a decent price. And so even though at the time I might have not had all the money I needed for it, I jumped on the deal and sold some stuff so I could get it, because it was something I really wanted for my collection. But the problem with the fear of missing out is that people are buying stuff that they don't really want, or they think they want, and they're just compulsively buying it because they're afraid that this deal will never come again. They'll never get this opportunity to pick this certain game up, or stuff like that. And I'm here to tell you guys that none of that really happens. These deals always come, and they usually come when you least expect it. I've always been kind of a, what do I want to say? I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not suspicious. That's not what I'm saying. But God, it's just that I can't think of the right word. But I believed somewhat superstitious. That's what I was thinking. Superstitious in some of the stuff, that karma is real when it comes to stuff like this. So in the past, I've done. I have a foster care program I have where I make bags for foster kids, and I do other stuff like that. But when I always found the best deals was right after I did something really nice for somebody. I remember one time I was at a grocery store. I'd been dry, no good deals for a while, nothing like that. And somebody dropped a $20 bill in front of me, and I picked it up and I gave it back to them. And I said, "Hey, here you go. You dropped this." And they're like, "Oh, thank you so much. Blah blah blah." And later that night, I got somebody that reached out to me that said they had a bunch of boxed NES games that they wanted to get rid of super cheap. And I'm telling you, man, I don't know if it's superstitious or not, but a lot of times I find like the best deals come to those that just wait. Just don't go on a limb. Don't spend too much money on something that you're gonna regret later. Because like I said, these games and stuff, they will pop back up. You will find them again. Like I said, I just told you guys, I've scoured Mercari and eBay and stuff, just refreshing, and I've always seen games just coming back. But once again, this is only for the people that are really addicted to buying these games in the first place and just buying to collect. And I mean, you can almost also push this off into not only with retro gaming, but gaming in general. Nowadays, with the collections and everything coming out and newer games, we have, the dangers of scalpers. Or I shouldn't say the dangers. I should say we have those buttholes out there called scalpers. So when this happens and something gets released, it's specifically usually by Nintendo because they're very, what do I want to say? This is the only thing, one of the big things I don't like about Nintendo. They will be like, we're only making these, so many of these. Get them now because after a couple months, we're not going to make them. Like when you saw with that Mario, I think it was Mario All-Star 3D and stuff like that. And the same with consoles when the microchip war was going on and stuff like that. Or not the microchip war, but when the microchip shortage. They had it listed. And so what that happened then was a lot of these people, because they were fearing they were never going to get these, they would spend twice the amount for like a PS5, twice the amount for an Xbox because they were nowhere. And these scalpers, anytime they saw them, they were buying them all. And you have to watch out for this, guys, because in all honesty, did you really need to spend, $1,000 on a PS5 then, or $1,200 on a PS5, and all you had to do was maybe wait 2 more months? Because that's kind of what I did. Now, when the PS5s originally came out, I think I got mine like maybe a year later. But I had to put it off like that because I was not going to be willing to pay that much extra for one. I signed up on a notification list, and when they started dropping, I was like, okay, so I'll just try and get one for retail prices, and I did, guys. But and that's why I'm saying it doesn't have to just be for your retro collection in general. It could be for anything that you need to be careful about. I had a subscriber mention this before too, that not only that the FOMO or whatever you want to call it for physical media, but also digital media. So Steam, PS5, all these guys, they will have, like, I think right now Steam's got a summer sale going on that goes till sometime in July. They have all these deals going on for digital games, and they, do whatever they can to advertisement, to pull you in, to be like, hey, you better get in here now and buy these games because they're never going to be this cheap again. You better get them in here now and buy. And I can tell you right now, guys, this is fake. These games always get marked down sooner or later. I don't know how many times I got told that I'm never going to find, Resident Evil 2 remake for cheap or whatever, that this is the cheapest it's going to be, blah, blah, blah. And so, I buy it, and then a couple weeks later, all of a sudden there's, instead of the summer sale, now there's, oh, hey, Capcom decided to do a sale. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Now the game's even cheaper. Oh, hey, Resident Evil 8 Village is coming out. Let's mark down all the other games. So they try to do this to get you to be afraid that you're going to miss this and buy it. And especially nowadays with the digital media and stuff like this, you're basically, what are you buying? You're buying the license for the game and stuff like that. Now we can go on too with like not only games, but movies and everything like that, but I'm not going to bore you with that. But it's just trying to do a video talking about this, guys, because like I'm doing this series on addiction. I'm doing this series on collecting and the dangers and the dark side of it. And this is really one of those things that people, are scared that they're not going to be able to get these games, or they're not going to get these deals. They're not going to ever see this again, so they panic buy. And, if you have the money to do this and it doesn't bother you, then this obviously, is not really meant towards you. This is like the people like me that had problems with this, that had like the compulsiveness, and the addiction to just buying games just to buy games. And it got really worried about that stuff, and that's what I'm saying is you don't have to fall for it. I don't want you guys to have to spend your hard-earned money on a game that was probably only worth like $10, but because you never see it, that you thought you had to panic buy it. And do your research. Take your time. If you miss it, okay, that happens, guys. It's not. Don't beat yourself up. I'm gonna go on to the record, and I'm gonna admit, you know how many times on Facebook Marketplace, I literally wanted to beat myself because I was not there 2 minutes faster. I remember somebody locally was selling all the Pokemon games on Game Boy, like, yellow, blue, red, and I think even like silver or something like that. And they wanted like $10 a piece. And I was so angry. I missed the deal. Somebody just swooped in, and it sucks. But I was so mad at myself. I'm like, dang it, you know what? I need to really step my game up. I need to go back to hitting refresh more. I need to really get in there, and I got to keep this hunt alive. Because that's one of the things, too, is not only buying these games is a good dopamine spike, but also finding the video game hunt itself is what you need to look out for. You get that, like I said, you get that good feel, that rush. But it's just like anything, guys. Everybody talks about the rush that you get from stuff, and it always goes downhill afterwards. And it's not just with like drugs and alcohol and stuff, but it's like with this stuff too. You get that adrenaline rush, you're so happy, you get it. You know how many, like I say, I can use this as an example. You know how many times I went and bought like totes of stuff? The rush of waiting to go, okay, I set up this time, I'm gonna go pick it up. Okay, I'm driving there. I'm so excited. I can't wait. I hope nothing goes wrong. I get there. I pay the guy. I take the totes. I get home. I'm so happy to get home and go through this stuff. I get home. I take everything out of the totes. I look at them. Like, oh, this is so cool. Then I just put it away. And that's it, guys. You know what's next? Oh, I better get back on Facebook. I gotta go hunting again. I gotta find some more better deals. I gotta find some good deals, guys. We're hot right now. And that stuff that I was so super excited to get was just a fake rush. I was so excited to get it, and then I got it, and then it's gone. I might have sold the stuff, got some money. I might have put it, hooked up a couple friends with some pretty good deals so they can get games out of there. But in all actuality, I didn't really keep any of that for the collection. I literally pretty much bought it, got it home, took pictures, maybe made a YouTube video, tried to be like, hey guys, look what I got today. And I've talked about that in videos too, how buying this stuff was more of making a YouTube video than it was for getting the stuff itself. So I'd get home and I'd make the video. I'd either leave it in the tote. I still got stuff over in a tote that I bought a few months ago. An NES, I think an Atari Junior with games and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying is I got that rush of getting it. I got it home. I went through it. I cleaned it up a little bit. And then I'm like, I'm going to hook this up someday. I'm going to play it, especially like the Atari Junior. And then now that I've just gone weeks and weeks without even looking at it, I'm like, should I just give it away? Should I do something with it? Should I give it away? Or it's just one of those things. It's like, why? Why was I so excited for this? I don't even really like the Atari. I'm not saying the Atari is bad, but I'm just saying that was way, it was before my time. I was an NES to Sega kid. It was before my time. And Brian's Man Cave talks about it too. Is he said that at one point, I think it was in his post. If I remember, I'll leave a link to his page below or his YouTube channel below. But he talked about how he had like 3 of them. And then he finally had a garage sale, and then he sold a couple of the Ataris. He's like, why am I holding on to all these Ataris? And in all honesty, looking over there now, I have an NES. I have 2 NESs, one that I need to fix, and a top loader. Why do I have 4 freaking Nintendos? And if I want to play it, I have my loaded NES Mini, which is a lot easier to hook up because it's HDMI. Or I have my RetroPie over here hooked up to my Elgato. Just buying the stuff because I was afraid I was going to miss out on this deal. And somebody else was going to swoop in and get my deal. That's all it was, guys. But we're rolling up on 15 minutes, and I don't really want to go on the rant anymore because then when this happens, we start talking and going out of the other things. But I just want to thank you guys for watching this and being so supportive of this. it really makes me feel great to do these videos and get all your guys' comments and responses, and telling me, you know, that this is either helps or how you relate a lot to my story. Because if anybody is actually dealing with the troubles of addiction like this, I hope that these videos kind of help bring light to it, or just to let you know that you're not alone out there. And it might sound like a cult leading, talking like this or whatever like this, but in all honesty, I'm not looking for anybody to suffer, and I don't want anybody to have to deal with this stuff. I watched that video the other day talking about the dangers of gambling, and how this guy was literally destroying his body, destroying himself physically, mentally, and spiritually, all because he just had to keep gambling. And that's not cool, dudes. So like I said, if you guys ever need to talk, you can hit me up on Instagram. I've had somebody telling me that I need to start getting a Discord going. I don't know about that, but maybe down the road that might be something I do. But otherwise, just comment below too. I pride myself on trying to make sure that I give every comment on everything, good or bad, and trying not to be, you know, if it's a bad comment, I'm not going to be a jerk to you. I might just try to talk to my side of it, but it's not anything like that. But I just pride myself on actually commenting on or replying to your comments, because I want, you know, that's something that always made me mad about bigger channels and stuff down the road, is they just give a generic response, or they just give you a thumbs up. Now, granted, I know if you got 1 million subscribers and stuff like that, you're not going to be able to read it all, but even when people only had a couple hundred, it was just kind of like, come on, guys. We're trying to support your channel and stuff. So I pride myself on being a channel that tries to comment on everything you guys put out there. So if I don't reply right away, I will be working on it, because as you can see, this channel has kind of really took off lately, and I've had a couple really decent videos that have gotten a lot of comments and stuff like that. So if I don't get to it right away, guys, just give me a few days and I'll get to you then. But comment below what you guys thought about this video. Has there been any deals in the past that you really felt like this, that you were really like anxious and nervous, and then when you actually missed out on it, you basically were so angry at yourself? Because you just got to remember, guys, that this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be hobbies and stuff are supposed to be fun. You're supposed to be passionate about it. It's not supposed to hurt you. It's supposed to be something you do to make yourself feel better, guys. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. As always, stay retro, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video.